right, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Damage Control. This is a specific video for War Instincts that we look to go ahead and start streaming every Wednesday. As a Wednesday for us, it's War Wednesday. We have our wars every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So we are in the Platinum 2 division or league, however we label that there on the game. But we just wanted to go ahead and start weekly showing you guys just from our perspective as far as what we see, because it differs depending on what league you're in. So I noticed there's some tendencies of defenses that, depending on what content creators that you listen to, some of them are like, no, you do not, put such and such team on defense, use them in offense. And so they're like more the end game side of things. And it's funny when you kind of start catching some of those videos there, and then you start going into your own personal experience into a lower league. It's like, nah, I see these teams on defense. So what I do, so that's what I wanted to kind of go ahead. And that's kind of the whole theory behind our little War Instincts, to just kind of show our personal take onto what we run into. And definitely, if you guys that are catching this, y'all have y'all's own comments or suggestions that you want to put some feedback into it, by all means share. Or if you have questions, if you need some help, we'll try to help you guys. So definitely reach out. But let's jump into it here.
Say it again. Wow. Yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
And when I was watching that right now, I picture Menace being Chris Tucker. And that's me all excited, being Jackie Chan singing going into it. And then I bring out my Shadowland team against someone, think I'm going to punch up, and I lose. So here we are. And I'm going to start off with that. The reason why I talk about the whole Shadowland thing is mainly for this right here. There's our good boy Menace, man. And I remember this was, I don't know if this was Monday or last week, but it was a few days ago. Was it the recent war? But this one right here, I remember because I kept looking at this defense. And this was a point where here's the Eternals, and they're mashing up, with the new Warriors. And then there was a room right next to it that had the same thing. So this, and I think this was Armory, I believe. It was like one of the big rooms that we really needed to clear out. And I had already, and kind of where I'm at with my, when I get into the War Instincts, I kind of just try to put things in perspective as far as, okay, there's about like 5 to 6 guys that are a little bit heavier than me as far as with their team rosters. So I want to go ahead and try to break some of the rooms to get the Menaces and the Darth into play, so that way they can start using their big teams against the bigger boosted rooms. So I had already used my Eternals, and I was just out there kind of like wondering, man, what are we going to do? And, we're not overly strategic as far as like where everybody shows us their lineups, and if they have a counter ready for, the Eternals, we just kind of wing it. And we do it successfully, which is pretty interesting the way we go about it, because it is a casual approach. We're not there putting pressure on anybody. We're not telling them about their wasted efforts and stuff like that. That's not our tendencies. But the point off of it is just that, like, I'm just wondering, as I'm excited about the game mode a little bit more than others, I'm like, who's going to do this? Do someone needs help? What's going on? And then Menace just jumps in there with the Shadowland team. And when I saw that, I was like, what the hell? So Menace, tell me your thought process as far as choosing Shadowland, and kind of what was your personal feel when you first kind of came upon this match.
It boils down to speed. People go in with Infinity Watch because they can take the hit, where Shadowland, you ideally don't let them take the hit. I will say with this match that was interesting is that I didn't go for, I don't remember, but I don't think I went for one of the Eternals first. I think I went for Cloak first to knock him out because I was scared of all the debuffs out there.
Yeah.
But if I gotta be honest, I don't remember how I played that. But if I didn't go for Cloak first, I went for Icarus first to knock him out, and then have Night Nurse flip all the debuffs. Either way, I went in there knowing that I had a situation I was going to go before them, and when they finally did move, I had a way out of it.
Okay. Now, did you happen to record that one?
I really should have. Honestly, dude, I wasn't sure 100% it was going to work because the punch up. I had just did that Infinity Watch attack, and I had to do it twice because of bad RNG. Um, so I do. I might be confusing them. I might have gone for Cloak the second time on the Infinity Watch one, and I might have gone right at the Eternals with this one. You don't use the ability block though, because they obviously cleared it. But you put the slow out there. You blow them up with damage, and you get like 5 turns before they get their first one.
Wow. And I know that this is a possibility because I have kind of tested it out onto our, off war. And when you're able to get into the practice mode, I know Shadowlands is definitely a team that counters a lot of people, and that's why I've been kind of harping on them. But the thing is, for me, and I know this picture is blurry, but I think it was a punch up, right? Is your Shadowland, is that 695 or
That's
8?
not. They're 895 in war. Like they're all full 315. I think only Electra and what's it called, are ISO blue. They got a lot of T4 into them because they are still, but at the time they were the team. I love that team.
Okay. Yeah, but I just know mine isn't as heavily stacked as yours is, and so I had to kind of face reality, and that's kind of why I joke about that rush hour videos because sometimes I go in there thinking like, yeah, I can pull a Menace off, and then my team isn't as strong, and then they get wiped out. Because
And
yeah, it
I've been
just
seeing your
depends.
real good. I've been seeing your so take them chances.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. But that's that team. So what I wanted to really highlight as I'm starting to go into the game here is we talked about the Ravagers during the blog post a little bit, talking more specifically about T'Challa. But the new team, war offensive team that's coming out here is going to be, the Ravagers. Now, my theory or take about it is I feel like they're like that, they're obviously specific to war. They're kind of like an X-Force. Well, it's funny I say X-Force, but I mean, in regards to the grouping of like X-Force, the Shadowlands and stuff, I mean, that's going to be them. That's their trait. I mean, right now, they're not so much into like a Doom Raid aspect other than possibly T'Challa, but not as a team. So I know that we just barely got them. I've already tested it out during the war and it came successfully. I was able to beat a, what the hell is that one? The Wave 1 Avengers. And this is where I'm at right here. I'm all like level 12 or 11. But I mean, the highest that I have is like a G12 for Yondu and for T'Challa. But I was able to take it out easily. I mean, it was an easy matchup. I mean, they seem pretty fun. I couldn't give you all the details and specifics into like, the theory, like, what order and turn order yet. It's real fresh and new. But did you guys happen? I know you haven't unlocked them yet, right, Menace? But for Darth, you just unlocked him yesterday, right? So were you able to use him yet for war or not yet?
I didn't even yesterday. I just unlocked him yesterday. I was busy the day before. But
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed that he's only gear 12, Mookie. Come on.
Here we go. Nah, he'll start coming up. Again, all my sources or my resources are going still towards the Web Warriors, partially, and then it goes back onto T'Challa. But yeah, on this one right here, as far as just thinking about in war, as you now got them kind of unlocked and you're starting to go into it, the one advice that I'll kind of tell you guys is that and I know Darth kind of hit it on the nail. It depends on what content creator you follow as far as on advice on if this is a legit team or not. And there's two right off the top that I give props to that I definitely want to highlight it, and it's McMull and Reminex. Reminex has been talking about this team for kind of multiple reasons. I mean, he kind of gets into a lot of theory crafting as McMull, but McMull is really kind of taking it to a different level as far as like plugging in old characters. And he has a recent video that just came out talking about Starlord, the original OG Starlord, and doubling it up with the current one for double blind aspect. And he's going against Mercs. He's also going ahead and there's videos out there where you can start, and I forgot, which player you plug out, but basically he plugs in Emma, and this Ravager squad right here can take out the Eternals. So with the War Instinct, I just kind of want to kind of push into Eternals because that is, I mean, at least for me, that's like the kind of the annoyance of defense that I see on there. And it's mainly because I worry about our alliance as a whole. Does everybody have like a counter ready for it? And I worry about, nutrition as far as like, is it going to, are we going to be able to push through it or not? Or what's going to happen? I mean, how do you guys feel when y'all see Eternals? I mean, is that the team that annoys you or is there a different team that annoys you the most?
All right, so my thing with the Eternals is that they're a wild card. They're like the Heroes for Hire before Weapon X. You only had so many points for them. I'm hoping that team can drop them. That's nice to know. But when I see Eternals, I find something to punch through with it. It can be bad, but if I either have the Infinity Watch in the deck, I have Shadowlands in the deck, or I have Weapon X in the deck, and if I don't have one of those, I gotta wait until one of you guys take it out.
So is this also kind of the same annoyance for you then, Darth, or is there another team?
No, that's any Eternals mix up. They're definitely the big the heel. If you see them on defense, I just don't think they're so wise to have on defense. I think they're a far better offensive team than they are a defensive team. But they are irritating. My thought on them is the more weapon. It's going to be weird. The more Omega Red that your alliance has, the less you're going to have to worry about these damn Eternals on defense. Because then your members are going to quit using their Infinity Watch on Heroes for Hire, and they're going to start using their Infinity Watch on shit like that, and just wiping it off the board.
Yeah, no, you hit it right there. And that is kind of where we're at with the mixed group here with, everybody's itching. I don't know, Willie's itching, for the next Omega Red release to come out. So everybody either wants to star them up or unlock them for the first time. So we're definitely right there. You hit it. And that's kind of where I kind of see the tendencies, what kind of our, hold up is a little bit when we see them on defense. Now, what I want to go ahead and just kind of highlight is the counters for them. So whenever you see, and it's for those that are really active into the arena game mode, that's actually where you get all your practice. Because this team is always on defense, and they just have different hybrids, which in theory ends up being the same case when you go into war. Right? It's always like, oh, here's the Eternals. Okay, who are they matching them up with? What type of counter do I got to do now? Just depending on the other three. So that's why I kind of feel comfortable going in there. I know how to go ahead and I face them every single day in arena. So what I would say is if you have a mashup, like this one right here, if you see it on defense, it's because the person on defense has that arena experience. They know the importance about their speed going first. So they're going to plug in Loki or Emma. So as soon as you see that, the counter of that is you also add, your Loki, your Emma, and then I think it's Cable. Then Cable is like the third because Cable gives a boost overall to everybody's speed, and that's how you outspeed them. So it's always like a little chess match. But the other side of it that you see on War that I don't have an image of, but I would say like the high percentage is new warriors with Eternals. And that's when you see Deathpool, Cloak and Dagger, and the Eternals there. And that's probably more of the custom that you'll see. So I kind of talk about that. Let me get to a different screen here. Mainly because I started saving my... started like adjusting this whole little war lineup. And it's this team down here. And again, this is a shout out to McMo. So McMo, and it's funny because, well, let me talk about, so when McMo came up, he has a video out there. I'll put some links out to it. And this is going to be a specific counter against the New Warrior Eternals matchup. And the reason being is that Starlord is going to go ahead and off his special, he puts the two abilities right over to Doom as you have them adjacent to him. And then here's the speed aspect of it, where you got Cable that's going to boost overall speed for your team to kind of start going up or, get their turns in before the Eternals go off on you. So you got Cable, and the same thing for Emma with the slowdown off of her passive. And then Neymar, honestly, you can kind of mix up a little bit, but really it's these four right here that are like the main requirement. But and I should have had videos and stuff like that here for you on this. But again, I'll put it the link. I mean, really the shout out is on McMo. But you'll see that the basic thing is that you can sometimes the blind hits Sometimes it doesn't hit. It just depends on like if you're punching up or punching across. But that's not the big thing. The big thing is getting Doom all to go off. And when his ult goes off, that's when you're triggering and you're focusing on Cloak or Dagger to get their defensive up to flip to the defensive down. And as soon as you get that off of either one of those, and then you ult after that, it wipes off the board. And that's how this team can go ahead and beat them. But you definitely got to pay attention to the power levels of, you know, how high you're going to be punching up on that. Now, did you, and I know we talked about this prior to the last war, and I didn't look into the whole history. I didn't have time for it. But did you try this one, Darth? Have you tried this matchup?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah, I did use it on test mode, and they punched up about 100k successfully. My Doom is still on defense, though, so I have not tried him in an active war.
Okay. Yeah, I did it this past war.
This breaks up 2 teams, actually 3 teams for me, so I can't even try it.
And that's kind of where the hard part is. So here's my theory, and you know, as far as why I did it. For me, Doom is starting to become more of an easy counter, at least on my team. I put him with the Brotherhood Doom, then I see X Factor going after him. I put him with the Mercs right now, and my Mercs just aren't that strong. See, and that's where it differs. You know, you guys have a more higher level of people you can surround them with, which makes it even, you know, for the purpose. But like, at least for me, it just hasn't been, you know, that many war victories. My victories are more towards like some other mashup team that's a little bit confusing, which we can talk about on a different episode. But that's kind of why it was easy for me to pull him out. And I already had Emma here. Of course, I wasn't even using Starlord. So that was an easy decision for me. I was like, all right, boom. And I used him. I was able to beat an Eternal Stare. And they didn't even use the new Warriors. They used some other mashup. They actually used Secret Avengers. They put the 3 Secret Avengers and they put the Eternals. And I was like, nah, I'm pretty sure I can punch up against this one, because I knew they didn't have any speed factor on them. Like, I knew I was going to be able to go off before, what's his name, Captain Sam. But anyway, so it worked out for me. Jumping over to the next one, as we already talked about, it is going to be the Ravagers. Oops, I missed a motor. But it's the Ravagers with Emma on there. And then again, we'll have McMo's video. So McMo's the one that's highlighting all of this. There was the Menace talked about it. It is Infinity Watch. Infinity Watch is definitely kind of more the easier counter. Just they could take all the punches. And I'm trying to think. I don't think there's any other. And I guess the only last counter is when you do the mirror match. And that's just you deciding what 3 you're going to plug in there. Do you need to put Emma in there or not? Sometimes if they use the new Warriors, you don't have to worry about, at least in my experience, I mean, you don't have to worry about the speed on that one. Well, I guess you still kind of do, but you don't have to put Emma and Loki. I just choose one or the other. That way usually what I do is I put, if there's not a speed factor, like if they don't have Loki on there, then I'm going to use Loki to go first. I may keep Namor in there, but for sure I take Emma off, because Emma's like totally been like the wild card player that can go into different war offensive teams to give them the boost that is needed. So, but that's all I have on that one. I don't know if you guys want to add anything else, any other teams there that you have some annoyance with, or I guess it was just all about Eternals right now. Looking at my notes here. Yeah, the other thing, yeah, so that was it. I mean, we just want to talk about the Ravagers. So the Ravagers are coming into play. They're the ones that are coming in here with the Eternals. And then we'll just, I'll try to get some personal videos of that. I'll start highlighting it for you guys on these War Wednesday videos. So stay tuned for that. If there's any other teams that you guys are looking at that are your own personal annoyance, let us know. We'll share our thoughts and opinions, see if we have any, of our own personal experiences off of those matchups as well. So just stay tuned and keep us posted with what you guys are running into. So thanks for watching and enjoy your day. Bye-bye.